Hey, hey, we're live from the Colorful Cookie. This is my friend Cameo.
Hi.
She's a Kansas City cookier. KC cookier is what we like to call ourselves.
Right.
And she is CR Confections. So I'm not sure they can see you. We're gonna have to get close.
We have to like each other.
Yeah.
We have to like each other.
So she is joining us tonight to talk about how she uses glaze to decorate her sugar cookies. And for me, when I first started decorating cookies a couple of years ago, I had such a hard time with glaze. And I was new too, and I was trying to figure out what I liked, but I could not master, I could master using the glaze and getting it thick enough, but mine was more translucent than it was opaque, and hers looks just like royal icing. But minus the meringue powder.
No meringue powder, so glaze is just
Right.
water, powdered sugar, corn syrup, and I use obviously the Americolor Bright White, so that might have been why yours wasn't as.
And at the time when I
opaque.
was new, I didn't use the bright
Probably.
white to mix
That's
in. And I
probably
do
why.
that now even with my royal icing. I put some drops of white in there. And then actually I use Anita from Baking Sweet Hope. I use her Franken frosting. Well, it's not called that anymore.
Yeah, the royal and the
Yes,
glaze.
it's a mix, and that's
Yeah.
what I love. But I would love to be able to just use glaze, but mine, it did take 24 hours to dry, and it was good, but it just was
does.
translucent. So
That's the one thing with glaze. It's a little different than royal in the fact that it does. You have to allow it that time to dry. I can't. I actually stuck this one in the dehydrator just so that it would be ready, and it's probably still pretty. It's still got shine to it.
but yeah, it is shiny.
It's still probably, if I pushed really hard, it probably
Would
would
make a
dent
dent.
it. Yeah. So it definitely,
So,
time-wise, you have to.
Does it ever get hard enough where it won't dent?
Yeah.
It does.
Like this one is. I finished this
What's
one
it, upside down?
yesterday. Well, it's upside down. There we go. Is that
Yeah,
better?
pretty.
So this one is hard. Like it's.
Wow.
not
See, my
going to.
glaze never got, I mean, I did a test and let it sit there for 3 days.
And it never got hard.
I could always push my finger in
Nope,
and dent
this is
it.
like rock, not rock hard, but you know,
Yeah.
like it's hard enough that you can stack, and it's got the cookie that's
Okay,
all
so
filled
when
up.
we're done, I'm going to take a bite and I'm
Yeah.
going to give my comparison between like my frosting, or it's not Franken frosting.
But this, yeah,
Sweet Hope.
baking sweet
remember.
hopes frosting.
Yes, and I'll tell you guys if it's a softer bite than that. So
It might be, it might not be. I know it's a softer bite than.
regular royal, for
icing,
sure. I can
yeah.
tell. I mean, it looks just like royal icing though. So
Yeah.
anyhow, we're glad you guys are here. Hello, Kathy. Last time when Rachel was here, she was like, "Hi, Mom," which I didn't know her mom's name. I was like, "Oh, okay.
I don't think my mom will be, and maybe she will, but I don't think she will be.
Maybe I'll have somebody pop in that I know."
So how would you want me to go ahead and show?
You can talk about your process and how
Okay.
you start and what's next, and
So
you
I-
can hold it up
Yeah.
close if
I was
you
gonna
want.
say, so I got, the camera's over here.
There you go. Mhm.
So I got a couple stencils from Nancy, and I wanted to make some sort of Mother's Day cookie that would be easy. This is a 2 stencil kind of set, so I'm going to show those stencils. That's so hard to see.
Hang on, let me get a dark piece of paper.
Okay, and then there's like a lattice looking one. That's really, hold it against the shirt. So I used these 2 stencils. I like using this method of making a plaque cookie with a word at the top and then some decorations at the bottom. I like doing that. It kind of lets you see the word. If I were to put the word mother over top of that, it might be a little too busy.
There's the
So
word
there's the
mother.
It's got a pretty flower in the middle. I just, like I told Nancy, I just blocked it out and then I put this fondant flower that I, made and just stuck it on there.
So do you color your own fondant? Do you make your own fondant?
No.
No.
That takes too much work.
What kind of fondant do you like?
I get it from the lady at Baker's Rack.
Is it satin ice?
I'm not sure. It's in
Yeah.
a little bitty tub. It's like $5.99.
I think it's probably satin ice.
There's like a whole bunch of colors and I just get
Yeah.
white and then I
and it
tint
lasts forever.
It does. As long as you seal it up, it'll be good forever.
So here's the other stencil
Yeah,
that
isn't that
she
pretty?
used for the bottom part. Yeah.
I have a lot of ideas.
Cricut
for that one.
users,
Is that one
this is in your Cricut Access subscription, and I will do a tutorial for you to show you how to make this. Super
It's
super
really,
easy.
It's really a pretty stencil.
Yeah. And that rose one, do you have it?
Yeah.
That is also, let's show this. This
one's
one is
really pretty.
gorgeous. And
Really,
this
really pretty.
Cricut users, this too is part of your Cricut Access subscription. And it's not a stencil, and you have to know what keywords to search for, but you can turn it into a stencil. So this
I have
is
ideas
gorgeous.
for this one, but I have to wait because I got them like right before I left.
Maybe you
so.
can post when you do them, and then I'll share them on my page.
Sure, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. So when I took this cookie, I just had the plaque, and then I just divided it and did half of the stencil, and then waited, and then did the mother part. So I have the stencil done on the bottom on that one.
How long did you have to wait when you did this for this to dry to add the mother? How do you time your two parts?
So this little scraping that I did, you can see there's like not a whole lot of icing on that.
So it's pretty thin.
So it's pretty thin. So I would say like, gosh, an hour maybe, 2
wow.
hours.
That's not bad.
I mean, you need to like make sure that it's pretty dry. So always touch those points where like there's
Yeah.
a little bit more icing
To see.
to see. But you just need it dry enough to be able to put that stencil and hold it there. That's the biggest thing. So you can scrape.
And not.
I would say 3 hours. You don't
Yeah.
have to wait a whole long time. If I was going to do like, obviously if I want to put the big stencil on this one, I'm going to have to wait until this is dry. So
Right.
24 hours, 18 hours.
So someone asked about the Baker's Rack fondant, if it tastes okay. If it's satin ice,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not eating a ton of it,
It's
but
a little tiny
it's,
little
it's not,
flour.
satin ice tastes okay.
Yeah. I don't like eat it on its own.
Yeah, I don't typically either.
I will say, however, I do like that if it's the same one, it stays soft. So like I know that if I make these cookies for a wedding or anything for the week, that flour by the time my guests get it are not going to break their tooth in half by biting it. So it does actually stay fairly soft. Even I make them a lot of time. I make them all the time, way ahead of time, so that I can have them available and ready all the time. So I make them a big batch, like on a Sunday when I don't have anything to do.
Yeah.
Make a big batch.
I was trying to turn this on my phone so I can answer some of your questions, but I'm just going to read through the comments here and go back to see if I
they're
missed.
just all saying hello.
Yeah. Oh, hello, Annie. Hi, Maxine. Marianne Sanders. Debbie from Texas. Do we have guys? Say where you're from. There's people from all over that follow me, and I love it. So say where you're from.
I agree with Nancy. Yeah, you
Yeah,
hardly
satin ice.
notice it.
I think it tastes pretty good too. And then I know some people do make their own marshmallow fondant,
Yeah.
which I posted a recipe on my page here somewhere in the feed a while back with the girl that came up with that, or at least it's called MMF. So her name is Liz, or LMF, Liz Merrick Marshmallow Fondant or something like that.
Oh,
Florida,
from
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yes, Nancy, she's from Hawaii. Yes, and I want to go there. When I come to Hawaii, I'm coming to meet you, Nancy.
Yes, you can flavor it. Totally. So if you didn't like the flavor, you can always flavor it. Just like I
Yeah.
tint it with icing, you can totally
Yeah.
tint it with.
Oh, Barb's here. Hey, Barb. I'm glad you're feeling better, Barb. I've been worried about you. Connie's from Washington, Minnesota, Florida.
Look at all you people
I
coming
know,
on.
Michigan,
Canada.
Canada. Yeah, I have several people from Canada in my group and in my club. More Florida, Victoria, Canada.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wonder if Bella yes, you're welcome, Barb. If Bella, we have a girl in our group a couple from London,
Oh, nice.
Turkey, Abu Dhabi. I mean, they're all over. It's awesome.
That's crazy.
Hi, Renee. She's in Ohio.
Okay, so do you want me to?
Yeah,
frost?
go ahead.
Okay, so
I'm gonna stand up and tilt the camera downward so that you can see
Okay.
what she's doing here.
Normally with glaze icing, I don't have 2 bags of icing. I just have 1 because you don't need 2. You just need 1 consistency. But for the video, I don't want to take forever to frost it, so I'm gonna outline and then obviously flood with the glaze. No, you're fine.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna move my. If I can get this.
It's like an earthquake.
I don't have enough muscle.
Can you get it?
I'm the one who tried.
You did too many cookies.
Wait.
Ah!
Oh. Oh my gosh. You're gonna have to come around here and manhandle this
Get it?
thing. No. Okay, I can't get the rack loose. Hold on. It's
This one?
righty tighty, lefty loosey, right?
Oh, Lord. There we go.
Oh, you're stronger than me.
Okay.
Oh, I'm such a weakling, obviously. She got it. First turn. Or, you know, I loosened it for her. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we like to say.
Exactly.
Okay, let's try to scoop that. Oh,
And I can just
here we go. Let me tighten it. Not too
don't
tight.
tighten it too tight.
I'll tighten it loosely. I'm just stronger than I know. But weak at the same time. Okay.
So the consistency that I like to use for royal icing, I'm not sure, or royal icing with glaze icing, I'm not sure what royal icing consistency, what do you normally, is it got any sort of certain amount of bead on it, Nancy? Like, do you have a 10-second bead, or are you just looking for a different?
I just know the consistency I like.
Okay.
Let me look at yours. I like mine about like that.
I was gonna say it's like glue,
Yeah.
like Elmer's
It
glue.
is. It's
if you
just
were
like
to come out of the bottle.
It is
that's-
just like
yeah.
Elmer's glue. That's a good way to put it.
The only reason I know that is because my girls are addicted to slime
So you make your own then?
all the time.
Yeah, we used to
At
do
least
that
once a day.
in kindergarten.
Oh no, we.
Well, not me
yeah.
in kindergarten, but when I taught kindergarten.
Well, I have to say I do use it. I do make
Yeah?
it. It's a lot of fun. So, like I was saying, I usually just have one bag, but I cut this bag really, really big so that it'll go really quickly. I do that quite a bit when I have a large order, just because it makes piping a little bit easier in your hand, but you don't have to. You can just have one bag cut with one hole.
So Nancy from Hawaii, she likes hers to be 15-second consistency, she said.
So I've kind of followed what Pam at Cookie Crazy when
Yeah.
she does, and she said a 10-second bead. So mine is more of a 10-second bead, unless I'm doing something that I really want, like the corners to be really crisp on. Or if I want any sort of really sharp edges, then I make it a little thicker, just so the outline will be that way.
Okay. Hey, Lori.
So you just, like you do with anything else, you just
Yeah.
get the icing
Gosh,
in
that's
there.
that looks exactly like royal icing. It really does.
Yeah, and then it'll just I love this.
Do you not shake it out or anything?
No,
Yeah.
it'll go down. If you wait too long, or like the bubbles. So if you have a lot of bubbles in your glaze, just let it sit on your counter in a container for a day or two once you make it, because the bubbles are just the air that you've put into it when you've made the icing. So you need to let those kind of come to the surface. So I always make my icing on Sunday, and then I don't usually put it into a bag until Tuesday or Wednesday.
And she does not have one bubble.
No, there's
not one.
No,
I'm
there's no
looking
bubbles.
up close. There's
But I do
no
have bubbles. That's not to say it. Like I do have bubbles if I put too much water in it, or if I try to get it too thin to maybe do a large order, I get bubbles.
That's perfect. There's no
Yeah.
bubbles. Barb wanted to know what bead means. Just when you squeeze it out, how the line looks.
So I can kind of show you on the cookie. A bead is just when you are looking at your icing in a container, a bead is how long it takes for that line of icing to sink back into the tub of icing or your mixing bowl.
Oh, yeah.
So you're just looking for, you're counting to see how long that goes back down in there. This one was longer than 10 seconds because I had let that dry for a little bit. And glaze icing, I don't know if royal icing's the same, it literally just starts to crust over almost immediately. So see, it's already gone down in there.
So I've never called that a bead. I've just called it 10 second or 15 second for it to disappear and go back into the
And I
icing.
just do it when I'm stirring,
Yeah.
and I just kind of pull up a ribbon basically and let it fall back in, and then I count in my head. And once you've done it enough,
You just know.
you just know. Bubbles, bubbles were my nemesis at first, and I definitely, when you let it set out, when you open that container and you look at it, you can see all the bubbles sitting at the top, and you're like, man, I'm glad I let that sit out, because those aren't in my bag. Somebody asked how I store it. So I store it in big, like Rubbermaid or containers, plastic containers, and I put press and seal over the top, and then I put the lid on top of that.
And that's what I do.
And that it's literally
icing. It's
will
fine.
last forever. Don't put it in the fridge. It sits on my counter.
Well, there's no meringue powder,
No.
and sugar's a preservative.
Nothing in it that will go bad.
So, let's see here. Hi, Carol. She's from California. Good evening, Jeanette. Connie said, I don't even use a recipe. I just dump. Is that the problem? That's probably the problem.
Well, then, although I will have to say, I'm not a fan of royal icing. I tried it for a really long time. I just can't do it's very finicky and picky to me. So glazed icing is very much a easy one to dump. So I have a recipe that I've used forever and it's from Pam Sneed, I believe.
It's
at Cookie Crazy.
Cookie Crazy. When I first started, I found her, and I did try her. I follow her because I love her cookies and I love how thick they are. And yours are really thick, which to me, that's a cookie. I love thick cookies.
Yes, Annie, I do share my recipes
So,
on my page on CR
so
Confections.
yeah, we need to. I'm gonna post a link to her page on here because I've got you guys on my phone. I'm trying to keep up with your comments here.
No, it's fine. I just happened to see.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you the next step so this was flooding, and that is very easy. It's very pretty. There's no, no bubbles, no.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And by moving it there, you didn't crack anything. And if that were royal icing,
Really?
if once I let mine sit just a little bit and I move it, it'll get like fractures across the top because the top dries first. The top, the very top layer, and then if you barely bump it, which I always did,
Right.
It'll just look like shattered.
Oh my gosh, my
glass,
cookies
yeah.
would look like poop all the time. Maybe that's why I like glaze.
Yeah, maybe. So Connie, let's see. Connie uses glaze, she said, but she just doesn't have I guess she doesn't follow her recipe every single time. She flies by the seat of her pants.
Hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Storing you talked about. Yes, Nancy, that glaze recipe, the second part of the Franken frosting or Sweet Hope frosting, yes, that's glaze, and that's what
glaze,
Cameo uses.
Nothing
and then
special.
You have your recipe on your site, so I'll post a link to her site here in the comments.
Yep. So I'm going to show you the next step in the pretty cookie is doing this bottom stencil. So my next step is.
Oh.
Do you see?
She bumped it.
Now here's the nice thing
you
about
can
glaze.
fix it.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it. You can
If that
kinda
were
see it.
royal icing.
See where I stuck my finger because I was too busy
You're
talking.
welcome, Nancy.
So I just take it and I just
nice.
touch it back in, and it literally goes
Oh
right
my
back
gosh!
in.
If that were royal icing, it would already be crusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
that's nice. So you have to let this dry for at least 12 to 18 hours. My rule of thumb is just 24. I just do it the very next day. So if you're going to do anything on top, you have to let it dry, especially something that I'm going to hold onto the cookie, and I have to actually, put pressure on that cookie. There's no way to make that dry any faster. So it does take a little bit of time to.
Do you ever
figure it
use
out.
a dehydrator or a fan, or what do you?
The only thing I like about a dehydrator is it dehydrates your cookie. I mean, it makes your cookie hard. So that's the only thing I don't use. I just make sure that I time management, like I have it all worked out so that I don't have to do that. But
So you don't even use a fan just because you don't need shimmer and shine. It automatically is shiny, it's not like royal icing. So Barb says I already posted your link, which I did on the event, and it's on my page several times. But later on, I'll post it in the comments here too, so you'll probably get a notice of that.
Watch me stick my finger in that again. Jeez.
And Cameo look how steady-handed she is. She can do this without a genie. She uses a genie, she said.
Use the genie.
And she also uses the magnet method, which I said, oh, you should have brought that because people always ask me about that. But she's so steady-handed. But you can watch how she does it. She said once you put a little bit of the glaze down, it kind of sticks the stencil down, and it's fine. And I do think that too. But I still tend to bump the stencil and move it. So I can't wait to see you do this without it.
So I thought, like I said, I was going to create half of that with this lattice stencil. So I'm just using the actual border on the stencil to help me out. So that's where I'm going to actually hold it onto my cookie. So that's why you see my finger going down. And I'm just kind of matching up each side to make sure that it's pretty level. So I just have my finger pushing down a little bit on the stencil. Can everybody see that? Yeah.
Yep. I think
So then I'm just going to take some icing that's in a bag, and I'm just going to kind of
that's what I do most of the time.
Drizzle.
I just drizzle and scrape.
drizzle.
It's neater than trying to, than trying to get the spatula. Sometimes I do it the spatula way.
The
but-
spatula sometimes works good with the littler ones.
Yeah.
So then I just take my scraper. You can take the edge of a spatula. You can take just anything that's straight.
So you didn't actually block it off to get
Nope.
the straight line. It was just part
I
of the
just used it
stencil.
part of the stencil.
Yeah.
So then I just scrape, on your icing. And you see me keeping scraping. I'm kind of scraping some in places that maybe the icing didn't get to. There's a point down here. So then after you kind of get it in all those places that you want it to be, edges are always hard because they're going to come out with a bunch of icing.
You are steady-handed.
So,
I would have already shimmied that finger and moved it.
So there's that part of it, and then you just lift it off. And once you lift, do you mind if I get this?
No,
on?
no,
Okay.
go ahead. It's fine.
So once you lift it off, I just take my lovely, whatever you call them, spatula.
Well, we call that a boo-boo stick, but
Boo-boo stick.
Sandra in our live that we did with Cindy and at her house with Sandra and Sherry and Mandy, we had a big discussion about this is called the boo-boo stick, but when you go to search for it, you can't. It's not really called a boo-boo stick. We don't know where. Now that's a sweet sugar bell because
This
I can
is
tell the
straight sugar
color.
bell, yeah. So
But
Michael's
there's
with a coupon.
yellow boo-boo sticks that people sell, and Sandra was trying to buy them in bulk, and
No.
you can't find them under the word boo-boo stick.
Well, and I know Jeannie has them, doesn't she? Or is it Cookie
I
Countess?
don't
Who
know.
has those?
I don't know if Cookie Countess does or not.
I'm not real sure. I thought she
I bought
did,
my-
'cause I
I
thought
bought
they
Sweet
looked like
Sugar
this
Bell.
one with the spatula on the end.
Someone has yellow. I can't remember who that is. Yeah.
So there's your stencil
So-
that's on the bottom. And all I was doing there while
pretty.
we were talking was just kind of cleaning up where some of the icing was hanging off of the cookie. So I was just kind of going back and cleaning it up.
So we have somebody from Maryland in here.
Hello.
Yeah, Christine. Maxine says, is the consistency for stenciling the same as the flood? No, it's exactly the same. Yeah.
This was the same bag that I used to decorate some cookies earlier this week. So totally the same 10-second
Yeah.
bead or whatever you want to call it.
Thingamajiggies are pink. So is the thingamajiggy, Katie?
It looks like this, right?
Oh, it looks just like that?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Katie does.
I haven't ordered them.
The thingamajiggies? Are they just like this? They have a bigger spatula, I think.
Oh,
at the
I know
end.
what you're talking about. It doesn't look just like this. Yes, I wasn't even. That's not. I don't think that's a boo-boo stick.
Cookie Countess has the
Thingamajiggy.
yellow ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else there sells those yellow ones besides the Cookie Countess too. Somebody who sells cookie cutters, I think. I can't remember.
There's lots
Karen
of
from Karen's Cookies. Oh, she invented the boo-boo stick. Oh.
I'm getting schooled.
Smart, Karen. Oh, Barb always says every day is a school day. She's so right.
Exactly.
We learn
Exactly.
something new.
So
Hi, Debbie.
This cookie is one that is dry, so I can touch it. This one is the one I just did. So again, you'd have to at least, like I was telling Nancy, you have to, or maybe I was saying earlier, you have to wait a little bit of time, like 2 hours, because it's not a whole lot of icing put on there. It's just a very thin layer. I don't think there's ever a way to show that. It's just a very thin
It is
layer.
thin.
Like you can't
Yeah.
hardly see it. So it won't take the full 24 hours to dry. It just needs a couple
It already,
hours.
actually, I can see the super shine is disappearing a little bit. It's
Yeah.
already drying, so
Where the,
that's
like,
really fast.
Chunks of icing are, they're not
Yeah,
dry.
no, but the thinner parts
thin
are
parts
already
are.
drying. Yeah.
Look how sharp that stencil is. Wow. I love sharp lines.
Oh, Bees Bake Supply sells boo-boo sticks.
Yes, they do.
Best tool ever. She has closed her business, but I think she's connected with Smith Cookie Con.
Who's close to business?
I don't know. Who's closed her business, Barb?
Bees?
Bees Baked
She
Supplies?
better not have, because I
Do you
buy
order from
all
her?
my stuff from
Uh-oh.
her. Jeez Louise.
Rebecca, do you like that pattern and color?
Isn't that pretty?
You can make that if you are a
love
Cricut
that
user.
color.
Well, you can make it if you're a Silhouette user too. But that pattern is in Design Space. Karen. Oh yeah, Karen did close her business. Yeah, I knew that because she's doing Cookie Con and it's overtaken their life, which
Oh,
I can
my.
totally understand that.
Totally.
I thought she was talking about the other
get
lady.
that.
Yes, Karen. She had closed her website quite a while ago too. So yeah.
Okay,
You
so
are right.
Nancy made me a new stencil. So I'm going to try to use it.
Thank you, Annie.
So explain this stencil
This
to me.
okay. So
Do you-
this.
can you see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's there.
Yeah, there you go.
So this is a screen. This is screen. It's not silk screen. It's actually polyester screen printing fabric, and it looks like this. It's just like what you use to screen T-shirts with.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and it's perfect for using on cookies. This is this is heat transfer vinyl that is clear, and there's everybody's out of this right now. Every cookier is trying to order this, so a lot of companies are out of the clear HTV. And HTV is heat transfer vinyl, in case you don't know. So, what I have something new that I found and I tried. Can you give me that one over there? I made a couple to show you the difference. This is actually made with clear heat transfer vinyl, Thermoflex Plus, which right now everybody's out of it. So I tried something else as an alternative, and that's what this is, and it worked. And it costs less than the regular vinyl, actually. Yeah. So this is, it's a, let me think about it for a minute. I always say Sizer. It's CR Easyweed Adhesive vinyl. So I have the link to share this with you guys. I've been waiting for it to come in, and it finally did, and I tested it out. And there's a big difference in this and the regular heat transfer vinyl. The heat transfer vinyl takes higher heat and more pressure. This, you barely have to iron it to get it to stick. Cool. If you over iron it, it will melt the adhesive and it will ruin your design. But this stuff is really good. So we're gonna see how it works when we run icing over it, because I haven't done that yet. But you can't hardly tell a difference in the heat transfer vinyl, which is this. Oh no!
Nope, you're good.
Okay. And this, that is the CR Easyweed adhesive. So something new for you guys.
So excited.
And I'm going to share this in my groups with you, and I've got a link that I'll share here in the comments because I tried it out first. I don't ever want to suggest anything to you that I have not tried, but this stuff works really well. So I'll talk about that more to you in the group later. So, okay, so Cameo, what do you want to use the one? Cricut users, this is another design from Cricut Access.
Perfect.
So, it's not a stencil, but you can make it into one.
And Terry asked me how thick my cookies are. Terry, my cookies are 3/8 of an inch thick.
That's how I like mine.
Yep.
I make mine really thick too.
And I just bought a new rolling pin, and it's amazing. It's
what kind did you buy?
One that's
that's cool.
Amazing.
I love that rolling pin. I had just bought a new big thick wooden rolling pin.
I can roll
she came out with that.
A whole batch of dough at one time.
Wow.
Like one swipe.
Because it's huge, isn't it?
Amazing. Yes, it is huge. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to kind of line up to make sure that all the letters kind of touch, you know, and are in line. Because you don't want your stencil to be not in line. Okay, so what side do you put down? I guess I should ask that.
Oh, it doesn't really matter.
Does it matter?
Except for you, it does matter because I didn't mirror it. You're going to be scraping on this side.
Duh.
Yeah.
But
it's tricky with heat transfer vinyl because some people like to scrape on the vinyl side, some people like to scrape on the silk side. Or I say silk, but it's not silk. So I like to scrape on the screen side because I don't want to be scraping on the side where the parts are to pull anything up.
Okay.
So you're scraping on the screen side.
I'm scraping where the word mother will be a little bit red.
Not backwards.
Come on there. Come on there, Cammy. So again, I'm just going to,
I'll go back and answer you guys' questions here in just a minute. I can see them, but I'm going to let her show this and then I'll answer.
Maybe my icing will come out of it.
Oh, do you need me to? There, okay.
So again, I'm just going to...
Oh, by the way, she's never used a screen and vinyl stencil before, so if you've never done this, you can see if, you know, maybe Cameo can do it, maybe she can't.
If I can't, it's Nancy's
If she
fault.
does do it, give her a love, or at least give her a like. You really have to scrape it clean. That's one thing that people don't know or think they have to do, but you have to scrape it almost clean for it to get a good, nice transfer to the cookie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
That's
that?
probably perfect.
Good?
We'll see. Looks good to me. Whoop.
Not enough.
More icing.
More icing.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you can see like where it didn't go through.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just needs more icing.
Try again.
Oh my gosh, you're just gonna scrape it off.
Yep. There you go.
Hey, that's wow. Okay,
Yeah,
now she just scraped that clean, and it looks like there was nothing there. We'll try it again.
We'll try it one more time. Try it one more time. This time I'm gonna put a lot of icing on it.
Yeah, but once you scrape it, and you have to press hard.
Okay.
It should go all the way.
And this one might not have been a good one because it's got that little lattice at the bottom there. So
yeah, and mother kind of goes down below it, but that's okay.
tipped my scraper over on your...
Oh, you want me to wipe it off?
No, I just got it
Oh,
everywhere.
that's okay. That's why I put parchment down. I don't care if you get it all over the table either.
Everywhere.
It'll clean up.
I just want to make sure I get it
Yeah.
everywhere I'm supposed to.
It's this CR Easyweed adhesive is actually this is the heat transfer vinyl, but someone I think Nancy asked
Somebody
about
asked
is
about the
clear or
Oracle.
frosty.
Oh, yeah.
The CR Easyweed adhesive is just like the heat transfer vinyl. It is a little frosty, but it's not a lot frosty, and it seems to get more frosty when you iron it. But you barely have to iron it on a low setting, not very long at all, or it will melt it.
Okay, what do you think?
Well, let's see.
I can always scrape it off.
No kidding.
I think it's that lattice
It
underneath
is the
of
lattice
there.
because the top part's
I
perfect.
think it would be so
So-
perfect if it was like...
It's the lattice that's raising that, but if you'll hold it up there, it's a light color too. But
so
it's perfect
can't
actually.
even, like, look, there's no breaks in the... Like, I'm just
Yeah.
so amazed at
It's
like,
the lattice underneath, but this top
I
part
can't
is
scrape it. I can't scrape it smooth because the
Over the
lattice
lattice,
is like
yeah.
raised up. But if you used it with a stencil that you airbrushed,
well.
then
You
that
could
would
use
still
it
be
on.
smooth.
We have another cookie. We could try this one on and see
Okay.
if that's better.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we're using an extra cookie that Nancy had in her.
Well, Rachel, when she left last time.
So thank you, Rachel.
Yeah. Hi, Rachel. So Rachel left a cookie and I put it in the freezer, so we're going to use that one.
This orange because it will be much.
Isn't it a problem having the bottom design there? Yep, Barb, I think we figured
it
that out.
Doesn't work. If you use this stencil, the one that she showed at the beginning, it works just fine because it's the one that I used with that, and it worked just fine.
Yeah.
So I would say screen.
Just because the screen just sucks
Yeah.
right to the top of the icing, so. Linda, she bought the cookie counter swirling pin with
Yes.
the built-in guides. And so is the built-in guide thick
It's
or
just
do-
like basically they've put it on a what's the woodworking thing?
Dyno? Or no,
that
that's a car
turns it.
thing. That's a car thing. Dyno is a car thing.
Do you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about? A lathe.
Yes,
Is that what it's
lathe,
called? So
yes.
it's just lathed out. So it's so nice.
Yeah.
It's just huge too. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
think
saw
I've got-
that. It looks awesome.
Okay, I think I've got it all on there. I just kind of. I will
Rebecca,
say it's a little challenging to.
yeah, it may be.
a
Well,
little
you've never done it
challenging
before,
to
so you did
see.
great for never having
Thanks.
done it before, because it is a challenge.
It's a learning, like everything I've found.
Yeah.
It's a learning process.
Yeah, let's see how this one works.
So we're gonna help this
And
one out.
I prefer traditional stencils because these stencils are they're not my specialty. I tend to make more mistakes with
Now
the
I'm nervous.
the screen stencils. Oh, don't be nervous. You need to wipe it off. You can
Yeah,
wipe
I
that
got
thing
it
off.
here in a minute.
Hi, April.
Hi, April.
Cameo says hi. Can you
I
hear
didn't
her?
raise my voice. I'm
I
working
did.
on that. I'm working on that.
I raised my voice. Jessica, if you're a Cricut user, that lattice is in Design Space. It's an access image, so it comes with your subscription. But it's you have to turn it into a stencil. There's a few steps you have to take. But
Note to self, clean your thing off before
here,
start.
you want to wipe that off? I'll get you a paper towel.
Okay, so you said to scrape it clean, right?
Yeah.
I've got it.
Let me get you a paper
Yeah.
towel because
Paper towel. So it's you can kind of see that it's this one. I like this one a lot better. So definitely the lattice work underneath of there was
Yeah, it was
hinders you from.
keeping it pulled up. Yeah, it would have worked in reverse, but I sprung that vinyl stencil on her.
I'm so excited though. I was so excited that she did.
She had never used them before, and I wanted her to try it. So she already had the cookies prepared, Barb.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why.
Are we ready? Dun, dun, dun. Please work, please
Woo!
work, please work.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it.
It looks good.
Oh, that looks so good.
Now,
A little bit of up there. I knew I didn't get
on the
very well
corner.
on there.
Yeah. It still looks great, though. It's
Oh, I
perfect
love it.
texture. It went through great. Ooh, that's pretty. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that looks really good. And that design, I can't tell you where I got it. I
very
don't know.
cute.
It was a freebie from somebody. I don't know. I'll have to go back
Get
and
some
look.
flowers around the side there.
Yes,
So
that would be
cute.
really cute. You have a flower right there.
I do have flowers.
And it's the same color.
Stick it right
Aw. Yeah, so let's pull this up.
Go for it.
And hang on, I'm gonna go back to the other side.
Are you gonna be able to do it?
I don't know. I may not be able to. Oh no, I didn't tighten it too tight.
Okay. How do you take care of the screen stencils?
Ooh, sorry for that squeak. Is that good?
That's a good sound. Yeah, that's good.
Okay. How do I take care of the?
So like with just regular stencils.
Oh, oops, sorry.
No, you're fine. With regular stencils, you just wash them. I just washed them in the sink.
I just wash
You
with
just wash
water, just even mild dish detergent and warm water, not too
Okay.
hot of water. That's my regular stencils, and these are the same way.
Okay.
But I just lay these in a little bit of warm water in the sink with just a tiny bit of dish detergent, and it comes right off.
Yeah.
Now, if something sticks in, or if it's a dark color and I can see it,
yeah.
I'll just kind of put it down and just smooth over it with my finger.
And just kind of rub it out.
Yeah, the water melts the icing away.
Yeah.
So
Well, I just
you
wondered if
can't
there
be
was
rough
something
with them
different.
though, or like scrub them. I mean, you could probably take a soft toothbrush if you had a little speck of icing that wouldn't come out, but
Yeah.
you can't be rough with those at all. But those last a long, long time. So,
Okay, so I'm a little anal about this, so I'm gonna scrape this off and do the original stencil.
oh, okay, so she's
that-
gonna redo that one.
Just real quick.
So, oh, Barb, she doesn't know how Smith got in there. We don't know either. I wonder what you meant connected to CookieCon. So she was talking about Karen. Sometimes lots of words get in there when I'm trying to type or talk into my phone. Oh my gosh.
Does anybody ever want to send a text that you've typed and it's like totally the wrong thing and see if somebody understands? Like how many times I've sent stuff to my husband and been like, you decipher what I was trying to tell you.
Yeah. Oh, that looks good. Let her show you this one. This one she did with the traditional stencil. So,
Yeah.
okay, I think we, hey
So
Connie,
I
Connie
just
Wells
did that.
Bryant.
So I scraped off the screen one that I did. That's
really pretty.
So then that's
So
a traditional.
the difference in the traditional stencil and the screen stencil is the bridging also. So in
these up for you.
this, okay, so in this cookie, this stencil has to be bridged to keep the words in place in the stencil frame is what I call it. It's what holds the stencil. This part around here, around the edge, that's the frame. So if you'll notice, yeah, in the H you can see a bridge
the
where I've
top
had to
there.
go in and edit this word to have pieces of the stencil connected to the words to hold it together so it doesn't just fall out. If I didn't bridge this, the whole word mother would just fall right out. So a screen stencil does not have any bridges at all. Do you see there's no gaps anywhere in that?
Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, no gaps at all.
love that.
If I had to bridge this for a traditional stencil, I would have had to bridge the loop and the B, the down here, and the E. Those are called counters. That's what's inside of letters. The inside the O. That whole O would just fall out and it'd be a big circle. So the difference in the traditional and the screen stencils are that they the traditional have to be bridged, which I like traditional stencils. I don't mind bridging.
No, I was gonna say because
So-
like the only place you can see that there's a bridge is that H right there.
Yeah,
But
at the
there's
top.
lots of other bridges
There are lots.
in that. Like there's lots in the M, but you can't see
Yeah,
them.
I try to make them
at all.
small so that they don't, they're not too noticeable.
You do a great job because like you
Thank you.
can't see them.
But the screen stencils, there's a lady who came up with that idea a few years ago. Her name was Kelly Mills, and she was kind of experimenting and posting in one of the stencil groups I was in, and she is the one who came up with that idea.
Awesome.
I mean, obviously screening has been around for a long time, but screening on cookies is something that she wanted to try and started, reporting her results as she did it.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
so-
why I wondered what everybody because there's lots of people that talk about it. And I have
They
no idea.
once Kelly did that, people started catching on, and oh my gosh, they went crazy with it. So April loves the
you're so
idea of
funny.
florals on your cookie.
You're so funny in my hair. I have an actual. If you can't see, I have a full mohawk at this point.
Woohoo! I love
Because
it.
I'm crazy, and why not?
Yeah, why not? I normally have short hair, but the last year I've been letting mine grow. But
I have
I'm
really
about to
long hair.
go over
Nope.
the edge and chop it off again.
No
so.
more. Mohawk all the way.
Let's see. Nancy did one with that stuff, white and her Easy Press, and it worked really well. So Nancy,
here.
did you use the sizer? I'll say it every time. Caesar Easyweed adhesive, did you try that? Yeah, and your Easy Press did work well. I know you love your Easy Press. So, yes, she's a rock star. She's a cookie star.
You're so funny.
Let's see if anybody, Jessica, you use a silhouette. You would have to do some things to convert that image over.
This
to
is my
use
next
for
step, is
silhouette.
to get a silhouette or a cameo.
You need one.
And
You have a friend who lives close by.
I know, right?
So.
I should be utilizing all these people.
April sent you a message. She forgot you were here.
Oh.
Lori, her thickness on her cookies is 3/8 of an inch.
Really, really thick. If I could make them thicker, I probably would.
Oh yeah, half-inch
But-
cookie would be awesome. Yeah,
It would take forever to bake though,
it would.
because everybody's really thin
Do you
cookies.
do
and-
you use
yeah.
Pam's recipe?
No.
No. Okay.
I think I use Artie's recipe.
Oh yeah.
I just had, because isn't her recipe doesn't have any baking powder in it, does it?
I don't think so.
I don't
Artie
use
Magoo.
any.
I don't
Yeah,
think she uses.
I don't have any. It's a very easy, basic recipe.
Is your
super
recipe on
easy.
your site too? Your cookie
Yeah.
and your icing.
It's the pin. So if you go to CR Confections, there's a pinned post. So that's
Okay.
my recipe for cookies, and then within the comments underneath there is Pam's recipe for glaze icing, which is
Okay.
basically what I use. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have, I'll post the link to this. Let me copy this and then go back. I'm on my phone here, so I'm going to post this link to that Easyweed. It's an Amazon affiliate link. That was one of the least price that I found. So,
that stuff's crazy. That's awesome.
well, you have to remember, if you use that stuff, no high heat, and it just takes a little bit of time to
Maxine,
press it.
does Pam's recipe, is that the one that has sour cream in it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
And it's good.
it is good.
I've made
I don't
it
know
before.
why I think I made it for a while and then I stopped.
Oh,
I'm not
when,
really sure why.
when I
though.
was new, I tried every
I really
single
like it.
recipe. Hey, Ann! Ann's in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Nice.
Her husband works with my husband.
There you
And
go.
maybe my husband's there. Is my husband at your house eating dinner with you and your husband? Yes, Maxine said yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one I thought.
And it looks, and another site that I found not very long ago, and I just joined her group. Her name is Ken, K-Y-N. 6 cakes, hang on, let me look. 6 Cakes and More, have you heard of that?
haven't heard
Oh
of
my gosh.
What?
She has some fabulous sugar cookie recipes. She
Really?
makes different flavors and comes up with her own.
I do make a lot of different. I do have.
I
a
saw
lot
that on
of
your
different
website,
flavors,
all the
I
flavors.
do love making. So whenever, but like everybody likes the traditional, but I do. My chocolate is amazing.
So is that
It's
something?
like a brownie. It's like a brownie
that's what I
cookie.
like,
It's so
yeah.
soft and.
So,
has the glaze icing.
Ken, I can't remember her last name, K-Y-N, but it's 6 Cakes and More, I believe, and she has a group, and she shares, she's got a cotton candy recipe. She's got some unique sherbet, do you say sherbet or sherbet?
Sherbet,
Yeah, sherbet, I do too. Recipe for sugar cookies.
Well, there's so many like extracts and those little drams of like the oils.
the
See,
Loran,
like glaze icing, you can do that. You can't do that with royal, can you? With the oil? Or
And
can
not
you
the
do that?
oil, no,
Yeah.
you can't put that.
So you can put those.
You have to use emulsion or just, flavorings
In there.
and royal icing. Ken Barber, yes, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to
so,
look her up.
yeah, she's got some. She has a website. It's called 6 Cakes and More, I believe. If you have a link, guys, you can post it. But anyway, I haven't tried it. She shares a lot of baking recipes. She just doesn't do sugar cookies. She does everything.
Okay. That's cool. I like different flavors. I like the cookies are not my
I
thing.
saw you
That's
had all
how I
those
can eat,
flavors.
Yeah.
My favorite is just regular old vanilla.
Yeah.
And butter and almond. I love almond.
That's mine. Has orange zest, butter, and
Not
orange
everybody.
zest, lemon, and gosh darn it, orange zest, vanilla, and almond. Jeez.
Yes.
Louise.
Oh, that
There we go.
sounds so good.
It's a shortbread. That's all.
Yeah. And that's what I don't know about you, but when I was little, I ate McDonald Land cookies. You know, the little, and that
That's
flavor
something.
reminds me of McDonald Land cookies, which I absolutely love. And I was so heartbroken when they quit making those when I was in high school. She used to be very active in a couple of groups. Well, I think probably.
Salted caramel butter cookie.
Ooh, yum. That sounds yummy, Jessica.
Yummy.
Okay, if you
I
share,
share,
if
you
you share your recipe, we'll take it. No pressure though.
No pressure.
So I think the reason Ken may not be active in so many groups anymore is because she's got her own group, and then she has a private group where she has a membership too.
There we go.
And I know that's taken over her life because I totally get it. It's taken over my life too.
Understand.
So I'm not hardly in any groups anymore either. I like to be, and I'll go through the feed once in a while and, like posts or make a little comment. But, ooh,
You're
you'll
so
put it on
cute,
your
Jessica.
blog. Okay, Jessica,
We'll
post
be
a link
making
to
it.
your blog so we can find you.
I will be making it.
Thank you, Marianne. Marianne is from Springfield. Marianne, did I add you to our Casey Cookiers group? I asked in the group, if it would be okay if we added some people from Springfield because they don't have a group there.
And we said the more the merrier.
Yes, and we all said the more the merrier. So I have added some people from Springfield, and so we've kind of branched out. I said now we're going to be kind of regional, but that's okay.
Jessica's in OP, like Overland Park.
Oh, that's right, Jessica. Duh.
Jessica's in our group. Jessica, are you in our group?
Well, you know what? Some people are new. Are you in our group and knew Jessica and did? No, she's in our group. I remember Jessica. Yes. Never mind. I remember you now.
Well, Jessica, I've never met
Okay,
you.
me
so-
neither. And you're not very active with us, so you need to get over here and start getting in with the rest of us because you'll love it. Right? I know April's in here. She's a Kansas City cookier.
But not in the group. You
Oh, Marianne, next time you come to IKEA, you can message me and I'll meet you somewhere.
And I'll meet you at IKEA because
And-
I
yeah.
go
Oh
to
my gosh,
IKEA
I
all
do
the
too.
time.
I love IKEA. I like the marketplace. So
My husband knows if I'm having a bad day that
That's
he
where
takes
you
me
are.
to IKEA. No, he
gosh.
takes me to IKEA.
Oh my gosh.
I love IKEA.
So Jessica Fan, Jessica,
Jessica's not in
wait,
the group.
are you in my? You're not in my group. Are you in my stencil group then? Because I've seen your name. I'm sorry that I can't keep up. Because I see
She's got a lot
so
going
many. I have like 4,000 people in one group and 300 in the other, and then my Casey Cookier group. There's about 48 of us, I think now. So yes, Jessica, private message me or send me a friend request and I'll add you.
Yeah, see that one that we did a second ago?
That's
The
dry.
stencil, it's dry. So I could go ahead and go back over and do it.
Wow.
In God's country.
Yes.
They're so funny.
You live way up north, April. You're kind of far away. That's okay. You still come down this way, and we get
I'm
together
gonna-
once in a while.
When did we just? I'm going up to do April too. I'm going up to be live on her.
I am too. This
I
summer.
don't know. I think it's in the summer. July. I think we said July.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it this summer too. Awesome. Yeah.
Because she's a cookie rock star.
She is a cookie rock star, and April has a virtual cookie class that she teaches. And April, you can post your link in the comments here so people can find you. I know Nancy.
Awesome.
Nancy takes your class, and she loves it. And I saw your live today too. That your group was open for today, I think anyway. So if you want to post your link, go ahead.
It's not 10 o'clock. I have to watch
Oh
all
no,
my lives.
yeah.
at 10
She
o'clock.
said, yeah. April said it's open until midnight tonight, Central Standard Time. Okay, Marianne is waiting for my membership to see more.
I know,
So
Annie. I'm
oh,
watching April
yes,
too.
Marianne. I saw your message today. Duh. I didn't realize you were from Springfield.
Laura's on.
Annie watches April's tutorial. Yeah, April does lives on her page also, Sweet and Saucy Life, and then she has a virtual class that you can take also that runs every month, I believe. Yeah. Hi, Laura. Laura's another Casey Cookier.
April rocks. Yes, she does.
VCC, Virtual Cookie Club. Yeah.
She does. April's been really sweet and helps me with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Okay.
All right,
else?
so any more questions? That's all we have for you guys, but it's been awesome.
Yes,
Thank you for coming,
thank you.
Cameo. I love it.
Thank
And you know what? Once I get settled and moved and get all my cookie stuff out, I'm going to try Glaze again.
Yeah, let me know. I
So-
mean, I like doing classes too, so.
Oh, you do classes too. And on her, yeah, if you're local and on Cameo's website, she does classes, not virtual, but live
No,
classes.
live at home. And then I have one at a winery once a month too, which is super fun.
Yeah, you need to post, when she's done, she can post a link to her page for her class. I'm watching on my phone, but can't find you on my computer. Well, that's weird, isn't it? I don't know.
Laura.
Hey, Courtney Fry. She's from my hometown,
Nice.
actually, Courtney.
Where's my
Courtney has
room buddy?
Courtney has a twin, and when I taught kindergarten, they were in kindergarten, and now
Aw.
she's married to one of my best friends' son. Kansas City has it all. Yeah, that we do, Nancy.
lucky.
We're lucky. We're lucky. We're lucky. We
Although
all.
I'm pretty sure
found
you're
each
the one
other.
that's in Hawaii, right?
Yeah. When I see your pictures on Facebook, I think you're the lucky one.
Exactly.
So I'm glad you guys all tuned in tonight to watch, and I'll remind you again to mark your calendars for June 11th because we're going to have a great big Casey Cookier live event at my house. I'm moving here before long into my new house, and everybody's going to come over, and we're going to do tutorials and have fun with each other. It'll be a blast. You're welcome, April. Yes, doors closed tonight at midnight for this month, right? Yes. We are near Hallmark. We're not very far from there.
Oh.
Debbie. What's it, about 30 minutes from here, maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, you can go back and watch it. It'll be on replay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olathe. I live in Olathe. The winery is Casey Wine Co. That's where I do once a month.
And I live in Overland Park, but on the very south end. And so that's where we'll be having that live on the 11th, Jessica. You're welcome to come. So anybody in our group that's a local cookier is welcome to come. Yes, April is amazing. Okay, so if you want to learn how to make stencils for your cookies, I can teach you. I have the Colorful Cookie Club. And you're welcome, Barb. It is a club that I teach silhouette and Cameo.
Yeah.
Cameo tutorials, silhouette software tutorials, and Cricut tutorials for people to design and cut their own stencils. And it's really fun, and I love doing it, and people are learning so much. I love it when people get in there and learn. It makes me feel good.
I can't wait to get one.
Yeah, so you're welcome, Maxine. Yeah, and I know, and
So
see, I live
excited.
close by, so you can have personal lessons.
All right.
So, all right, thank
pay
you
them
guys. That'd be awesome. Okay, thank you.
Hi, guys.
See you later.